So the Cavs just lost one of the worst regular season games I have seen in quite a while, losing to a Warriors team that started Jonathan Kuminga, who went 1 for 10, by the way, Quentin Post, Buddy Hield, Pat Spencer, Will Richard, who I like but had 4 shots, and then played TJD, Guy Santos, Gary Payton II, Moses Moody, and Brandon Podziemski off the bench. This is the 10-man rotation that the Cavs just lost to at home with a mostly healthy roster. Disastrous might be an understatement for this type of a loss. This is terrible. Yes, it's only 1 of 82, but my goodness, this team is struggling right now. And I think a lot of the excuse early in the season was, injuries. A lot of our star players have been out in different ways. Once we get healthier, we're going to start to find our groove. The unfortunate truth is, I'm not sure that's the truth. I think this team's in big trouble. I really do. I think they are in a real spot of trouble in the East. Now, the East is not loaded, and I think they still have a chance to compete, but the problem is they don't have a ton of future assets. They have no financial flexibility, and they have some real issues, and I want to talk about what I think those issues are in more depth in this video. Number one, their starting lineup needs to change. DeAndre Hunter needs to come off the bench because their bench scoring has been an atrocity. They're not good across the board compared to last season, and we can look at those numbers. This year, they have the 11th best offensive rating in basketball, which is fine, not amazing. They have the 9th best defensive rating in basketball. Honestly, not terrible in either of those areas, but when you compare to last year, they had the best offensive rating in basketball by a decently large margin and the 8th best defensive rating in basketball. So they're similar defensively to where they were last year, but offensively, they've, while not completely fallen off a cliff, taken a significant step back. And that has taken them from a team that last year won 64 games to a team that is now 14-11 out of their first 25. Not where you want to be. And the biggest reason is the bench. And I think in a large part, that's why DeAndre Hunter needs to come off the bench, is because they just don't have enough scoring off the bench. I think Jalen Tyson, athletically, defensively, some of those things fits better in the starting lineup anyway. And he's shooting the absolute crap out of the ball this year, which deserves a lot of credit. But this year, the Cavs have the second lowest scoring bench in the entire league, behind only the Lakers. That's not good at all. In front of only the Lakers. Last year, they weren't the best bench scoring team in the league, but they were 8th best. They were a very, very good bench scoring team last year. They were a very efficient bench scoring team, especially from three-point range, where they shot 38%, which was top 4 in basketball. This year, they have the second lowest three-point percentage in the league, and field goal percentage is 39, which is the lowest field goal percentage in all of basketball so far this year. They have not gotten nearly enough production from their bench, and it is killing them. Last year, they had Ty Jerome as that spark plug guy who was so good for this team last year, and without him, they've just been not even close to the same on the coming off the bench. And in a lot of ways, I think it's because of a few different reasons. I mean, Sam Merrill's been solid when he's played, but he's really been the only bench guy to give you a lot of juice. Jalen Tyson's been starting for much of the season, obviously, as, to be fair, has Merrill for a good chunk of the year. Dean Wade has struggled just efficiency-wise in general. He's been very efficient for two-point range, but that's very small sample size, very low attempts per game, and he's shooting 29% from 3. Lonzo's shooting 26% from 3 and only 42% from two-point range. And look, I like Lonzo a lot. I think he's a real connector. I think defensively he does a lot of things well. I think his playmaking is valuable, but he has to make shots, plain and simple, and he has been nowhere close to that. One of the least efficient players in the league so far this year. But Craig Porter Jr. has been pretty good so far off the bench for them, in all honesty, but he is nothing more than a role player. And Naquan Tomlin brings a lot of energy, a lot of effort, but he's going to have to make some three-pointers. He's shooting 20% on 2 attempts a game so far this year. It's just not going to work. Not to mention, again, they don't have a backup big. So it's Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, and then you kind of have to stagger those guys' minutes because they don't have a real backup big. Neither Larry Nance Jr. nor Thomas Bryant have been particularly good so far this year, and neither of those guys are guys I think you really feel like you can count on. So the issue with this team is, well, their bench sucks, plain and simple. That's number one. Their bench scoring especially is terrible. But I think another issue with this team is that Evan Mobley has not taken the jump that I think he was expected to. It's funny because he's averaging 19 and 9, and he's a solid defender. He's shooting 37% from 3, and he's doing a lot of good things, but I still don't feel like he has taken the leap, and Cavs fans certainly, I think, would agree. He has not taken the leap that you really need from him, and you need guys like DeAndre Hunter to replicate what he did last year. He's not doing that so far. You're not getting the contributions from the bench that you need, and even with Jalen Tyson taking a huge step forward here in his second year, this team as a whole has not had the answers. I don't know if they have enough quality guards, in all honesty. They certainly don't have enough quality bigs. And they're only, I mean, I think DeAndre Hunter should probably come off the bench and Jalen Tyson should start, and I think that may help to give the bench a little more firepower if you can get fully healthy, but you have to be fully healthy. And they haven't been fully healthy at all either. Not to mention, Darius Garland's averaging 13 points a game, shooting 34%, 35% from two-point range. Again, small sample size, only 8 games, not including tonight, which tonight he was 6 of 15, 1 of 6 from 3, 17 points. But, like, he has struggled so far. Big time. That is not what you need from a guy who is making how much money? Darius Garland's making $40 million a year. 42 next year, 45 the year after that. You got to get better from one of your stars there in a lot of ways as well. And I think with Mobley not quite elevating the way that the team would like him to, Jared Allen being good but not special, Darius Garland struggling the way he has so far this year, it takes away from what has been a very good Donovan Mitchell year, a very good progression from Jalen Tyson. But I will say, I do think this isn't like the end for the Cavs. I think they definitely have a chance to right the ship and try to get going in the right direction. They're still a solid defensive team. Offensively, they're not awful despite how poorly many of their players have shot the ball so far this year. And again, to be fair, a good chunk of injuries. I think there is real validity to that point as well. But they're going to need the bench to contribute more. And the problem for this team is, if you look at the cap table, they are $22 million over the second apron right now. They are nowhere close to getting under the second apron. And so what that means is they're extremely, extremely restricted this year in terms of the flexibility that they have. And the issue is, it doesn't really get that much better the next couple of years. You know what I mean? They have a player option on Lonzo, which at this point you wonder, he's going to have to shoot the ball for them to pick that up, I guess. But Max Strus is making $16 million a year. He hasn't played. Like, you need Max Strus to be playing. He hasn't played yet this year. Once he comes back, he will provide the bench with more shooting and stuff, but will likely not be back still for a bit. And they're paying these guys so much money, y'all. Evan Mobley's making $50 million next year. Donovan Mitchell's making $50 million next year. Darius Garland's making 42. DeAndre Hunter's making 24. They're like way over the second apron, and they're going to be way over the second apron again next year. Can they afford to keep this roster like this? Are the owners going to be willing to pay luxury tax on a team that doesn't even look like a real contender? Like, there are a lot of real questions here. And again, not only are they financially constrained in terms of making trades, and the sellers are going to have to match perfectly and stuff, but it's not like they have a bunch of draft picks to attach to trades or anything like that as well to improve this roster. They're in a rough spot, and I don't know how they're going to really impact the bench scoring. I almost wonder, do you go get Chris Paul? Like, as crazy as that says on a minimum deal, is he a contributor for this team? They really need a backup big, though. I don't think CP's the answer at this point. And I wonder, assets-wise, if they really even have enough to make a deal at the deadline. They're just in a tough spot. No 27 or 29 first-round pick. Not going to have control of their own picks here for the next couple of years anyway until 2030. Like, they're limited. And they don't look good this year, and honestly, they look like they've taken a step back, and that's concerning because other teams in the East are taking a step forward. The Pistons have taken a step forward. The Knicks feel like the leading suitors for Giannis. The Raptors have taken a step forward. The Celtics have been pretty darn impressive as of late, and will likely get Tatum back at some point this year. The Magic started rough, but have played great basketball as of late as well. The Hawks, we'll see. The Heat's offense is solid. They've struggled more as of late, but like, look, is the East absolutely loaded? No. Is this really concerning for the Cavs? I think absolutely yes. I would be concerned if I was a Cavs fan. This is not how this season was supposed to start at all, and they have some serious issues that they're going to have to figure out. Otherwise, they might be in big trouble. Plain and simple. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.